Save yourself a bunch of money on store-bought onion and garlic powder because you can easily make them at home. Hi everyone, I'm Tracy. Today I'm going to show you how to make onion powder and garlic powder right in your own kitchen. The recipe is super easy to follow. Let's get started. First, choose fresh, firm onions. The fresher they are, the better your onion powder will taste. You'll need about 1.5 medium onions or 2 small ones, just the right amount for a small batch of homemade onion powder. Then peel off the dry outer skin and trim away the roots and the top. After that, chop the onions into very small pieces. The smaller you cut them, the faster and more evenly they'll dry. You don't need to wash or disinfect the onions. The drying process itself will naturally kill any bacteria. It's simple, clean, and completely safe. I love this method because it keeps all the natural flavor, no chemicals, no preservatives, and no need for an industrial dehydrator. Once you've finished chopping, just spread the onion pieces evenly on a tray or a flat plate. A glass tray works best, but if you don't have one, you can simply line a baking tray with parchment paper. That's it, our onions are now perfectly prepped and ready to dry. Next, let's move on to the garlic. You'll need about 2 large heads of fresh garlic. The fresher the garlic, the richer your homemade garlic powder will taste. To peel the cloves easily, just press each one gently with the flat side of your knife. The skin will pop right off. There's no need to soak the garlic in water since moisture can slow down the drying process later. After peeling, chop the garlic into very small pieces just like we did with the onions. The smaller you chop, the faster and more evenly the garlic will dry. Take your time with this step. It really makes a big difference in the final texture of your garlic powder. You know, a small jar of garlic or onion powder at the grocery store can cost around $4. But when you make it at home, it's not only much cheaper, it's also cleaner and completely free of plastic packaging. Plus, you'll know exactly what's inside. No additives, no preservatives, and no hidden ingredients. Once you're done chopping, simply spread the garlic evenly on a tray. And that's it. Now that the onions and garlic are finely chopped and ready, it's time to dry them. This step is incredibly important because it helps turn them into that fine, fragrant powder later on. First, preheat your oven to 300 degrees, about 150 degrees. That's the perfect temperature for slow drying without burning the natural sweetness of your garlic and onions. For garlic, bake it for about 1 hour and 30 minutes. You'll notice the cloves slowly turning golden and crisp as the aroma begins to fill the air. For onions, they need a little more time, around 2 hours and 30 minutes. Be patient. It's worth it. As the onions bake, their sharpness fades, replaced by a sweet, rich fragrance that gently spreads through your kitchen. By the time they're done, your kitchen will smell absolutely comforting, warm, savory, and full of homemade goodness. If you don't have an oven and prefer another drying method, don't worry. There are plenty of easy alternatives you can try. I'll be happy to share more options if you leave a comment below. Once done, you'll see that the onions and garlic have turned slightly golden brown, crisp and light. However, if they still feel a bit soft or chewy, simply put them back in the oven for another 15 to 20 minutes until they're completely dry. This step is very important because it determines how smooth your powder will be and how long it can be stored later. After finishing, let them cool completely before moving on to the next step. Tracy loves hearing about the interesting things from your country. Let me know where your beautiful country is in the comments below. Now that the onions and garlic are completely dry, it's time to grind them into fine, fragrant powder. This part is so satisfying, you only need a blender. If your blender has a crush ice mode that's perfect, it helps grind everything quickly and evenly. Add each ingredient one at a time and grind it until fine. Start with the dried onions. Use the high-speed setting to get the powder as fine as possible. Blend in short bursts about 20 seconds each time, then pause for a few seconds before continuing. These short breaks help protect the blender motor and give you a smoother, more even result. After each round, check the color and texture of the powder. It should be light, dry, and fine, very similar to store-bought powder. If you still see a few small flakes, blend them again until you reach a perfect consistency, then pour them into a small bowl. At this point, your onion powder is nicely ground, but if you look closely, you may still notice some grainy bits that haven't fully broken down. So it's important to sift the powder one more time to get it extra fine. This step ensures your homemade onion powder is smooth and ready to use anytime. Don't throw away what's left in the sieve, save the remaining flakes in a clean bowl. Repeat the same process with the garlic. Blend it into a fine powder just like you did with the onions. Then use a fine mesh strainer to sift the powder. Gently shake or tap the strainer to separate the fine powder from the larger bits. The powder that passes through will be pure garlic powder, smooth in texture and wonderfully fragrant. As for the leftover garlic flakes, keep those too. At this point, you'll have 1 bowl of onion powder, 1 bowl of garlic powder, and the remaining flakes from both. Mix the onion and garlic flakes together and stir well. Next, spread the mixture out on a baking tray and dry it again in the oven for another 20 minutes. Once it's done, you'll have a fantastic homemade garlic and onion blend, a unique seasoning that adds flavor to soups, stews, and marinades. To store it easily, prepare a few small glass jars. You can even reuse old spice jars. Just make sure they're clean and completely dry. Use a spoon to fill each jar with the different seasonings. First is the dried onion powder. I really love the aroma of onion. This method gives it a fine texture, white color, and a beautiful appearance. Next is the garlic powder, an essential ingredient in my marinades. It's slightly darker in color, smooth, and holds on to that rich, delicious garlic flavor. Last is the jar of garlic and onion flakes. A special blend you can also sprinkle directly onto food to bring out the full flavor of any dish. Once you've finished filling the jars, close the lids tightly. And just like that, you now have 2 jars of homemade garlic powder and onion powder, and on top of that, 1 more jar of special seasoning made from a mix of garlic and onion flakes. To make them easy to tell apart, you can add labels like onion powder, and garlic and onion seasoning to each jar and place them on your kitchen shelf. Nothing goes to waste here. That's the beauty of homemade cooking. As I always say, I never throw anything away. Everything can be used again. Every piece of onion and garlic has its own value, and by reusing them, you're not only saving money but also showing love and care for the food you make. Your kitchen will smell amazing, and you'll feel truly happy knowing you created something entirely from scratch. This method isn't just simple and affordable. It's also healthier because you know exactly what's inside, no preservatives, no additives, just pure homemade flavor. Have you ever tried making your own garlic and onion powder before? Or is there another spice you'd like Tracy to make next? Leave a comment below to let me know. That's it for today's video. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe for more helpful videos. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.